Welcome to the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
Welcome back to the Buy Box Bandits podcast. Today we have just the boys here. We're going to do a little update on Q1, how to not drop off after what we hope for you was a big Q4 as it was for us. Just talking about strategies and how we're innovating moving forward now that some of the insane sales volume we saw during Q4 has cooled off, and how we're quelling that. Strategies with the replenishable seasonal items we sourced last quarter that didn't end up working out. Some examples of that. Wholesale back orders and all that. But yeah, we haven't done one of these in a little while. Thank you guys to all our listeners and watchers, subscribers, all that. We're just going to chop it up on what's going on in our current businesses right now. So Danny, I know you're dealing with some back orders right now for wholesale.
Yes, I am. I'm waiting for my back orders to be filled. I mean, they get filled some of them get partially filled every week, but I have some major ones that I'm waiting till March. March 2nd, 11th, and I think 20-something is the estimated date on a lot of them. But, I mean, these are things that I placed 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And so I just keep placing new ones. Just keep waiting.
And are you putting
how does that flow in Q1?
Are you putting a down payment on them, or are they?
No.
Or do you pay in full right when they come?
No, so I pay in full when they come. I don't have any net terms. I mean, I do have net terms, but I don't use them. I leverage not having to use them to get a lower price. I think some people at the amount of orders, at the size of the orders that I'm placing, because it's pretty much into the 7 figures now, they require down payments, but I've kind of finagled my way out of that because I don't want to do that. That would just be pretty much impossible at that scale. You could do it. People do it.
Yeah, if you had 7 figures in the bank,
so
or
they
$200K in the bank, yeah.
So they audited my company's financials to make sure that I could afford what I was ordering. So that was their way of making sure that they wouldn't get stuck with my inventory.
So how does the lag in your back orders kind of affect the way you manage your cash flow in your business? Does that, change anything?
I mean, yeah, you just got to be mindful of back orders and not trying to, and not over leveraging. So, if all my back orders got filled right now, I could do it, but it'd be tight.
It would be tight.
But you just got to manage. But
and I'm sure they work.
It's kind of go big or go home for me.
Yeah, they understand that stuff's not going to come all at one point. You know what I mean? They're forecasting to forecast their cash flow as well as much as you are yours.
Mm-hmm. And so with these back orders so far in advance, how are you filling your business with intermediary products in the meantime? Is
OA,
this stuff that was back ordered before?
But yeah, OA, but I still have the Buy Box Bandits Prep Center knows I got stuff still coming every week.
Bit. Yeah, newest BBB prep client here in studio with us today.
Yeah, no, so yeah, if you guys need a prep center, link down below for the waitlist. But it's just I constantly sourcing. I have wholesale things that are always in stock, things that I'm trying to get a better price on, because a lot of my prices change weekly or bi-weekly, depending on, honestly, a lot of it's been dependent on freight costs, and freight costs is going down for shipping from Asia to here. So that's actually been lowering my prices.
That's good.
So I'm always constantly renegotiating right now.
Yeah, and there's always stuff, as long as you're actively looking for new catalogs of products, while you might pass on something at one point during some of these intermediary times where maybe you're back ordered or cash flow issues, whatever, some of the replenishables you really like, I'd consider pretty much anything those are replenishables, but other stuff you could go ahead and buy. I have a ton of stuff in my head I could go ahead and buy that I wouldn't ideally like to, but I absolutely could fill if, for whatever reason, some of the stuff I mainly sell, I couldn't source at profitable prices. Some stuff we're seeing just kind of fatigue in prices on stuff. One, because it's Q1, so the demand's going down just industry-wide. Also, prices going down because people are able to source items so cheap during November, December, and now those items are all getting processed into Amazon. So there's a lot of competition on some stuff because some stuff was so cheap to source in December. I know my net margin was higher, a few percentage points higher than normal in January because I was able to get stuff cheaper than normal. Now I can't go ahead and get them at those prices, which is why it might look like lower than normal in some cases, but it's the same profitability, if not more, because during December, at least arbitraging wise, OARA, you were able to get stuff so cheap because these sites were giving out such high sales, which is a big advantage of being in the arbitrage game, specifically in those months, because not only were sales really good, but buying was really, really good. December was my best buying month ever in terms of the cost on different stuff I was getting. Do you guys agree with that, Garrett, or either of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the good and the bad, right? With operating in the arbitrage space, as you kind of alluded to. Yeah, it's interesting to see how kind of the price fluctuates as demand fluctuates, and obviously seeing new sellers come in and out of the different listings that we're on. It's kind of interesting just to see how it plays out, and it'll be really cool to see how the next couple months kind of forecast with those couple listings that are super popular.
Yeah, I'd
I
assume
think
with
there's also an aspect to January, going from December to January. Not only is it's the least the least amount of consumer dollars, I believe, are spent in January, and then it kind of picks back up February and March. But there's also like an element of fear in a lot of newer sellers where like they're holding toy inventory or other kind of inventory that would sell in December, and then now it's January. It's not selling. Prices are dropping. So people are just trying to liquidate as fast as possible, which I think artificially brings the price back down a little bit lower on some listings. But like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, it is what it is. Kind of, that's just kind of the game.
Yeah, like
if you're
people
staying afloat in
complain.
Q1, like you kill it the rest of the year.
Yeah, people complain about stuff getting harder over the years. Like if you're good and you're active, you will get better. That quickly outpaces the rate at which the fees went up last month, like a month ago, like tomorrow or the next day. Fees went up, so I know that crunched listings. It's weird though. I feel like, and I don't look at it too closely. Fees definitely on some stuff went up more than they said they were going to. I know some like people on Twitter were talking about that, I think, but either way, I mean, I didn't see inflated prices on stuff I source too much in many cases, which is fine. And people, it's all a volume game, right? We bring these guys on who do big numbers wholesale. They don't worry too much about 1 or 2% ROI in that they just sell more items. And that's my solution. People ask, count health, how do I get more views? And ultimately, just how do you make more money? You sell more items that are profitable. You sell through stuff that's good. You don't worry about spending all 6 hours sourcing to find a 40% ROI item when you could spend 6 minutes sourcing to find a 28% ROI item, and then go ahead and find more stuff with that extra time you saved. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, that was kind of a big conversation piece, I guess, really within the three of us, is in the beginning of January, really analyzing where our businesses ended in terms of 2021 and kind of leveraging that data to make plans and forecast what we're going to do in 2022. So for us specifically, January is a massive just data month, right? Time to really drive down on your analytics to evaluate where you are. And one of the major conversation pieces that I think that we all had was looking at sort of that opportunity cost, right? How much do we have to spend? What's sort of like that low-hanging fruit that we aren't taking advantage of, and evaluating the possibility of potentially bringing on some of those products while acknowledging having to, spend more, which is an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Also, another interesting thing that I kind of just thought of as we were going, I think arbitrage products are significantly more affected by these kind of cycles, Q4 to then Q1, than products typically in the wholesale category that can't buy profitable in a retail setting.
Yeah, that just makes sense supply chain wise, and quantities of those items are bought way more concentrated to certain people, so naturally price volatility will be different, and the people buying that type of stuff are a lot more serious than people arbitraging stuff, because naturally, just if you think about it, right, these times a year, like Danny, you were saying, a lot of prices are going down on stuff because people arbitrage toys and different stuff like that, and there's a way lower barrier to entry to arbitrage, which naturally causes people who are less serious to get into it, and that's just kind of the one of the downsides we run into with this stuff, because and obviously it's just natural that different things happen like this, but to be in the low risk space of arbitrage, low quantities of stuff, low risk and everything, that just ends up being one of the kind of balancing factors in making a decision whether you want to be in arbitrage or wholesale,
or a hybrid of both, which is kind of where we see a
Where?
lot of our
Yeah,
guests come
both you
in
guys
and,
are.
and talk, right? Most of the big wholesale guys at least have a small subset of their business, taking advantage of some of that low hanging fruit.
Everyone I've ever talked to that does multiple million does. Yeah. For the
Yeah,
most part,
1,000
yeah.
ASIN specifically is the first one that comes to mind, right? I think he said 20-30% of his business is still OA, which was surprising for me, obviously, having such a big wholesale operation, to still kind of put time and effort into that business. I mean, granted,
Well, part of it's because it's low effort. Like,
yeah.
once you find stuff that's good, stable listings that have a barrier to entry, maybe an ungate or something like that, or being in a no tax state where you can buy a lot cheaper than everyone, like, for example, the prep center being in Delaware, people who send us inventory have an immediate competitive advantage over people that live in other states just because there's no sales tax that's paid on those items.
True.
Yeah,
Very
for
true. Yeah.
example, like being in Pennsylvania, there's no sales tax on shoes. So I send stuff to myself in Pennsylvania, at least for now. But the toys I was sourcing back in November would all go to Delaware because there was no sales tax on it. That was the strategy I was playing with that to gain competitive advantage no matter what type of item I was going after.
Yeah. And once you learn OA or even RA kind of once and you practice it a lot and get a lot of reps in at it, it's not the learning curve kind of tops off at a certain point, and it's just about being able to source more, and being able to source more, usually trying to incorporate the use of virtual assistants or other employees to source for you, or have just like multiple people sourcing for you.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Just kind of scaling out with wholesale, it's a lot harder to like get a buyer.
All right, sorry for the cutout there. So we're back. We're gonna go through it as this is episode 40 now. First of all, you guys let us know what some of your favorite episode in the comments are, and I think we could go through. We're at the point where we could go through and kind of pick out some of our favorite episodes. Yeah. Miles, what would you say? What's up there for you?
Our most viewed episode that's gotten probably the highest volume of quality feedback would be the 1,000 ASINs episode, which is the title is like Meet the $6 million OA and wholesale seller. That one's really good for tactical stuff, especially if you're arbitraging. He spit a lot of game on arbitraging stuff, even though he mainly does wholesale. We just referenced that a few minutes ago, but I think we'd probably all agree that's at least one of our favorite ones. So I think we should each go around and mention our favorite one that isn't that one. That makes sense. Garrett, you want to start for us?
I mean, I'm going to be biased, but of course I'm going to say the one Dylan came on with.
I knew you were going to say that. That was good, though, too, and a lot of people like that. Yeah, that was fun, though.
Yeah, we got a ton of good feedback. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Dylan still hasn't posted any content, which makes us sad. It says Garrett and Dylan on the page, and we never see him besides the profile pic.
Well, Garrett is head of content.
There's
as I've recently peeped on allamazon.com.
Oh, that's funny that
I saw
has
that.
it on there.
I made that a while ago. But that's just the beauty of a team, though. Why two people spend energy and effort contributing to one thing when I'm putting content out? He can be calling wholesalers or sourcing new leads or any number of things.
Talk about your company structure later. All right, I'll just go with mine without further ado, I guess.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So I don't remember what it was, but the episode we did with Taylor Jones I thought was really good. That was some like deep stuff we got into there. Him talking about quitting his job and really not liking it and everything. I think that was one that is underrated in terms of views, but something I think a lot of people get value from because a lot of people are in that place where they don't like what they're doing day to day. And also our viewer base is largely younger males who might not have a lot of responsibility and can take some of the type of risks or at least consider testing out some of the stuff the way Taylor did, taking massive action. So I think that was a really valuable one as well. It's cool to kind of look back because that was only like 3-4 months ago. We'd done obviously 30 episodes since then or whatever, but I'm really digging back.
Feels forever ago though.
Yeah, seriously, man. And a lot of stuff changed since then. Like we've combined done probably like 1.5 mil, us three since like October, November, and all that. But yeah, so that's what I'd say for mine. I'm really digging back into some other ones. The Cody one as well. Cody, I hope you're listening to this. We really appreciate all you're doing and everything too. That's another example of a guy who, in kind of different than what Taylor did, took really massive action on stuff, does a lot of RA and stuff these days. Cody does Amazon. You guys should go listen to that one as well, I would say.
So I think my favorite one, it's honestly really hard for me to pick. I want to. I mean, I wasn't on it, but I really enjoyed.
I was gonna say, is he gonna pick one
episode.
that he hasn't participated in?
That's
Yeah,
like half of them.
The first episode.
the welcome to the
1008th
Bandits
episode
one,
was really good. The Eric Lott, the reselling teacher episode
True,
was
yeah,
good.
that one from December.
The one where we had Connor Gross on and he talked about the storage units, I really enjoyed that.
That was a good one.
Dude, we had a ton that I really, really enjoyed.
Man, I
forgot
I
about
don't
so
think I
many
can
of
pick one.
these.
I'd go OA deals. OA deals one
Yeah.
where because that was wholesale and OA, and that's I think most relatable to people who listen mostly arbitraging but want to do wholesale. Another one of those OA wholesale hybrid models we were talking about that you guys adapt.
Yeah, but I think my favorite thing about the podcast so far is getting the DMs or like the comments and the messages from everyone saying that we helped out in some way, shape, or form. Those are really cool.
Yeah,
I think we all love seeing those.
At least one a
it
day,
blows
one
my
every
mind
other
that-
day. Someone tags us on the Buy Box Bandit
Mhm.
Instagram with like I'm listening. It's pretty hype. We appreciate it.
And it blows my mind that people are watching and listening to every single episode and essentially like putting it in their week to take the time out of their days, out of their weeks to listen to our episodes.
Yeah, it's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
We really appreciate it. It's very, very cool. And we, it's not close to over. It'll never be over. We got some really cool guests lined up coming up this week and next week. Sorry, there's a fly in front of me that's bothering me.
Yeah. We hit 1,000 subs, which was super exciting.
Yeah,
something that we were
Thank you guys.
after for
All
a couple months there.
All our YouTube viewers.
That was awesome.
I've been tossing up polls on the BBB YouTube too lately that a lot of people
And on the community tab.
on
Yes,
the community
we saw
tab.
that.
Yeah, it just like pops up when people are scrolling. Though I think on mobile, I don't know how it looks on desktop view, but that's.
And we also have a
Yeah.
second channel we have launched called the Buy Box Bandits Clips channel. So you can go check that out. Linked in the description. There'll be clips and shorts.
Have we started
on
posting
that
on
channel.
that yet?
I believe Dennis has posted 3 shorts on
All
it.
right, cool.
But we're gonna get the clips going up there, so that's gonna be like between like 3 and 10-minute videos on little tangents. So if you can't watch the whole podcast, you can just like pull up a clip
Or come back
and
to
just watch
specific
that.
episodes for the gems. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. We're gonna drop some good gems on that channel, so go check that out. Linked in the description. Anyway, back to Q1, Amazon. What would your guys' number one ways? I would actually, yeah. What would be your number one ways to stay motivated during Q1? Because I think as a newer seller, like you're coming off of Q4, you're like, oh my god, the demand is so high, and then now it kind of drops off a little bit.
As
how
a
do
newer
you stay
seller,
motivated?
you should always be getting better. Like there shouldn't be a drop off just based on the way your knowledge is compounding. Unless you like take a significant amount of money out. But that's the way I think about it. Just because I don't think as a newer seller, even us, like we don't like obviously there's been a decrease in the volume of sales, but like if I wasn't dealing, it took money out and everything, like it would continue to grow. I think just maybe not at the same pace, but just like for example, my sales are down like over 50% since December, but for the person who's doing a few thousand in sales, your knowledge should compound quicker as long as you're continuously taking action. That it should continue to grow.
Yeah, for me, I mean, for someone who's been doing this a while, I think January, February are 2 of the easiest months to stay motivated in, because these are the times where you're setting your goals for the year, right? We set and establish what we expect to do in sales and profit and all that good stuff in January, beginning of January, even I guess late December. But you have that number in the back of your mind. So you operating with that sort of immediate motivation, right? Come June, July, in like the midst of the summer where you don't have that goal in front of mind. I think personally, it's a lot harder to kind of keep up that same intensity of work, the work ethic, the long hours in June rather than in January, because, the goal is the front of mind, right? You set your big goal, that your target, and that's what it is.
Yeah, besides prepping stuff though, as you go with Amazon, you should make more with the margin of less work per dollar earned, just because you have more money, which is easier to deploy. You're better at sourcing, so you can find more stuff outside of the work to actually prep those items, like at least in a way. And if you're buying replenishable type stuff that's not necessarily on sale, BOLO type stuff, your catalog grows, so your time spent sourcing is less per the amount of money you're making, just because it compounds. Like building out a catalog of stuff you can buy again and again, which we talk about all the time. That's the hardest stuff to do, but it's also where the most money's made.
Yeah, and it just continues to snowball. You know, we talk about this all the time with Danny's are not my students, right? You find one product one week, you find another next week, and you're continuing to source the same product the last week, right? You continue to buy products over and over and over again, and snowball that business. What are you laughing at?
Oh, no, I mean, that was just very smooth plug, but
It was, it was a
yeah, I mean, I don't
smooth
know.
plug.
People will be seeing that regardless. Definitely. Anything you guys are doing differently this quarter than you did last? It just tactically.
Outsourcing. I'm outsourcing. As Garrett knows, I don't want to do anything. I'm
Okay.
outsourcing all my work.
Like
That's not all true. But seriously, the grunt stuff, I'm
sucks.
like the sourcing, staring at the screen. I'm paying the VA $250 an hour.
Oh,
that
you
for
have
me.
you have a wholesale VA now?
I have 2 VAs right now that have been
Oh.
working for me.
Oh, even better. Cool.
So I'm building them up to eventually get to. Well, one of them does away, one of them does wholesale list. But I'm gonna build them up to eventually get to purchasing for me, or having maybe someone stateside do purchasing for me. But like, I'm really trying to build this. I'm trying to build something to sell. I want to be able to exit this company, sell it, and buy real estate.
Speaking of which, can you? I don't know if you're willing to talk about it quite yet, but do you want to fill in the viewers on sort of your PL initiative this year?
Yeah, I think Garrett has PL initiative also. I think we're both on the same page. But yeah, I like it. It goes back to what I just said. Trying to build something to sell, because like you could sell a wholesale company that buys wholesale products, but like really you're not going to get any multiple on it. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good sale. You might as well just keep it. But I'm really trying to build out some PL brands, or not brands, but one brand, but some PL products, just testing, seeing what works. Because there comes a point where you've been selling on Amazon so much, it's much easier to go and launch a PL product than it would be if you're starting brand new. Because we know how the listings work, we know how all the back end works, we know how to fulfill the products, market the products, Amazon PPC, all things like that. Everything to do with on Amazon, we pretty much know how to do. So now I'm taking the time to invest a good amount of money into some PL products, and trying to get those going.
And you
So
have money that you can risk now.
Yes.
So as of we're doing this episode in February, how serious are you taking this as of now? Like a percentage of your mental effort, your time, is it 20%, 30%? Are we talking about like 70% of your? Is this like a serious initiative for you?
Yeah, I want to build something to sell. I mean, it's like it's. I have hours throughout the day where I just focus on Amazon, and I might hop back and forth between a few different things. But yeah, PL is up there. I have things that are in order from China right now that will be at the BBB warehouse soon.
Let's go.
But they're all it's a few different things. They're all tests, and I'm just kind of throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and then run with that.
And you started a new Amazon account to do that?
Yes.
What were the steps you took to ensure you were doing that in a legitimate way in Amazon's head or mind system?
So the only reason, so you need a legitimate business reason to start another Amazon account, and having a separate brand, having your own brand is a legitimate reason, but you're also at the same time fighting Amazon's automatic seller account banning robot. So while it shouldn't matter, it does matter. And it hasn't affected me, but I know it sometimes affects other people. So things like I'm not really I don't have that account on my phone. I'm not accessing that account from the same IP address, at least not right now, just because I want to keep it completely separate. The addresses are separate. The businesses are separate. The bank accounts are separate. Everything is separate.
It really is crazy that you have to take that type of precautions, but you do, just based on a lot of stuff being automated.
And I think they got better with it, because at the end of the day, the account is still linked to me because it has my name on it when you first create it. Because you have to, that's the only way you can switch it to a business later. You have to create it personally first, with your first and last name. So it's definitely still linked, but it's just and also, for example, you don't sell the same product on 2 of your accounts. That's auto ban. And they'll ban with no remorse too.
But so you got the second account approved, correct?
Yes. I also reached out to an Amazon rep and asked what I need to do, and she said as long as I have a legitimate business reason to be doing this, then it's fine.
How'd you get in contact with someone like that had power, or at least enough to?
I had someone call me like a year ago and ask me about my account, and I just kept her number in my phone, and I kind of I don't have like an official Amazon rep, but I kind of just consider her that. And
No, that's
whenever I have a
good.
question, I
Yeah,
call
I
and
mean,
ask.
any leverage you can get from people who have, information. It's tough to even get them on a call for like other stuff. You have to go in and go to like request help, and I think it's like click something that like you normally
Well, yeah,
shouldn't.
they're
Like, make
changing
contact.
it.
Of course
I,
they are. They,
I think no, they're trying to make it better.
Oh, good. They have
Yeah.
that. Honestly, though, people like hate on Amazon all the time. One, it costs $40 a month to sell on the platform. That's disgustingly cheap for the value you get and what obviously people see from the scalability of it. But two, they are totally getting better. Taking receipts for a lot of inauthentic complaints is cool. We've kind of all agreed we've seen an increase in that lately, which is amazing. That's so good for the arbitragers. Also, you can now on account health, you can talk to an account health specialist. I've never done it or heard anything do it, but I know that's new as of the last month, I think, or so, which is cool as well. I think that's obviously any increased support we can get as sellers is very appreciated, and I think just overall people should be a lot more thankful for the opportunity we get, because even 15 years ago this type of business didn't exist. There's a lot worse ways to make money.
Yeah, I think we're in the roaring 20s of e-com.
Yeah,
E-com.
I mean, that's a good way to put it.
E-com astronaut.
In
Should I
other
change it
news,
to
you
e-com
referred to
astronaut?
the BBB Prep Center, Danny. I think that's something that we all should be proud of. Is that we've made a ton of strides with that whole service.
Yeah,
been
we
providing,
did.
which is
We've
pretty
had
cool.
months over 10,000 units, which is super cool.
Over
We're
20,000
proud of it.
units.
Yeah, so thank you to all our prep clients and everything on that. I previously mentioned it earlier in the episode, but it's located in Delaware. So, if you're arbitraging stuff, there's advantages to doing that, which is just cool based on built-in stuff. But yeah, I've started sending. We're all kind of, working with it and everything, but it's good. And it's also just a way we can further interact with the audience to provide a valuable service too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And the best part is we have a team in there that's kind of, driving that entire initiative, right? So it's fairly hands-off for all three of us, which is obviously awesome. And we can still kind of continue to diversify all of our income in that way.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about using a prep center, like Garrett and I, we've been saying this to our students. Sorry, Mom.
It's a math equation, right?
I'm joking.
No,
but
positive sum.
it's just we've been talking about time, and if you don't have to prep yourself and the math makes sense, even if you are paying $1 a unit or $1.50 a unit, it's almost always worth it to do the prep yourself. Like I've been able to be in a different country in different states in the past month and just send stuff to our prep center knowing it's going to get done and not have to worry about it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
What,
and I did the math.
What did you have going on in the
myself.
different states?
All right. Festivities.
So I went to Mexico, and then I went to Colorado. Just went skiing
with
with
a bunch of guests.
bunch of Amazon
Taylor,
sellers. I'm sure
Romer, who have been on.
Yeah, we had Romer on, Taylor. There were some good people there we should get on. I should reach out. Yeah, just skiing, hanging out, networking. Good stuff.
Beverages. But
Beverages
yeah, I literally broke down the math on my own because I was considering getting it my own space near me, but like, all right, $1,500 for the warehouse cost, a couple of grand for the employee, recycling, trash, internet, all that really adds up. And until I'd say you get over like 5,000 units, at least a couple thousand units, the prep makes a lot more sense just based on cost wise, not to mention not needing to commute and everything like that is
and it was
for you it's just something less to worry about.
Oh yeah, and that I think is an underrated, the mental headspace.
Yeah,
like I spent
sure.
a few grand on inventory that's headed to BBB today, and it's nice just to be able to go ahead and focus. Like on the topic of outsourcing, I've also gotten a VA to help out with content. So for example, today woke up, got on Zoom with them, recorded the video yesterday, had notes down on exactly what it should look like, and now it's currently getting done as we speak. That should be ready, hopefully get uploaded tomorrow, all for a few bucks an hour. I think it's like $4.50 an hour.
And also like Trader Soros said, I forgot his first name. What was his first name?
I'm pretty sure it just TJ, I think, but I'm pretty sure.
We know. All right, that's I was looking. I can't find it. But yeah, like Trader Soros says, like we're not, at least right now, Like when you're doing OA and RA, you shouldn't be doing the prep, right? That's a $12 an hour activity,
High
or in
value
a prep
time
center
is-
case, that's $1.75 per unit. Like this is a low wage activity that does not benefit you at all, right? Because like you could be just outsourcing that, and as you're paying for that time you get back, you could be sourcing more, which pays for it in itself. Not to mention, prep cost is a taxable. You can write that off, not unlike
not
sales
ta-
tax.
Not tax advice. In case you were
No, it's
wondering.
high. It is tax advice. You should be writing off your prep cost.
Yeah, but I mean, prepping is probably one of the cheapest activities in the business, apart from any sort of just reporting
Absolutely.
or data work
Is
or
the
pulling.
lowest ROI activity in this business is prep.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
something we always talk about is take and write down every activity in your business, and put it lowest or cheapest to most expensive. Right? It'll be enlightening in terms of starting from the lowest and starting to outsource from there. Right?
And a lot of
Your
stuff
prep.
is naturally outsourced. FBA repricing if you're if you're using a repricer, which definitely should be. Naturally.
Yeah, there is no ROI on prep unless you.
I mean,
I mean, there really isn't.
it's a necessary part of it, so there obviously is ROI. But in terms
Well,
of
I know, but like,
yeah,
if you're using a prep center, then prepping yourself, there is no return on your time.
yes,
Besides
Hey,
the
what-
products getting sent out.
And what a lot of people don't realize is taking into consideration your average buy cost, right? Some states sales tax is pretty significant, right? So if you're operating in a sales tax state with say 7%, if your average buy cost is $40, $50, you're going to be paying $2, $3, $4 on sales tax per item, where a prep fee, doesn't take into consideration that average buy cost. So
your ABC,
we talked to what's up?
your AVC, your average buy cost, new Amazon term. It's going to
ABC,
say
yeah.
APC, average product cost.
We talk to people all the time, though. If they just laid out the numbers, they would be legitimately, without any sort of time saving per unit just by switching and paying a prep fee.
Same thing
right?
with the people who spend all day sourcing to make 41% ROI instead of buying low-hanging fruit they already know of that has 26 that they can sell more of, that sells quicker, laying out the numbers on the compounding over time of that, or just even the compounding at the time, different stuff, where, putting that towards other products, like the way we've kind of been each in our own way scaling out horizontally into other revenue streams, Amazon oriented and all that, I think is super, super valuable.
So many of these decisions in your business, though, stem just from knowing your numbers, right? You can't make any of these educated decisions. You can't make any of these planning decisions without just having a absolute knowledge of what's going on under the hood in your business.
Did I hear a Ty Lopez?
Yeah, that's the grandfather of making money online.
Yeah, you had a Ty Lopez like impulse.
Yeah, the first few episodes we were doing that as well, but we've had too many guests to have that type of banter as of late. But yeah, so is this episode 40?
This is episode 40.
Okay, so that
This
means
is the 40th episode of the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
Yeah, if you scroll back to episode 1, I have really long hair and we're in Garrett's living room, which was actually a really good studio, I would say.
Yeah,
it was. The online format's better though.
And we had really bad cameras too. Remember, I'm pretty sure we filmed it on an iPhone because the other camera didn't work.
We filmed on my iPhone. It wasn't terrible. Yeah, the online format's just easier, way easier.
I think it's more fun, more enjoyable doing it in person though.
Yeah,
of course,
definitely.
Speaking of which,
we Chipotle it up.
Speaking of which, we still have those chips that I got. Those what are they called, Miles?
They're dumb, whatever they are.
It's over. That trend. Look, honestly, that trend came and went.
Well, they're still in the warehouse. So when the next time we all get together, they will be getting eaten, and it will be on social media. So that's just a fact of what.
I think it's called the one chip challenge.
Yeah, it's this really hot chip or something like that. Any updates on the trucking side, Danny? I know we talked about that previously in an episode a while ago, but haven't heard much about it since then.
Trucking is trucking. Things are expensive. I've actually not. I did the numbers on the plane here. I built up a lot of equity in this truck, and I did not realize it, which is cool. But yeah, the trucking's trucking. Again, I'm building stuff to sell. I have actually already. I haven't had offers reached out to me, but there's like people that have things online where it's just like they have like a criteria, and this is like how much they'll pay.
Dude,
There's like a whole interesting thing. Once you hit a 180-day mark in a trucking company, it instantly becomes more valuable because then people don't have to wait to be able to get more loads and stuff. But that's like a whole nother topic. But yeah,
so it becomes a lot more turnkey at that point.
It's like an Amazon account with all the ungates.
That's an interesting way to think about it, but from the little
that is what it is, because it gives you, once you hit 180 days, it gives you access to every single load board, whereas 0 to 6 you don't. So it essentially is an Amazon account with all the ungates. So I'm dabbling though. It takes up a lot of my time throughout the day, and like I've been saying, I'm trying to figure out my highest return on my time, because I'm really been valuing my time lately. And I only want to be doing things that's giving me the highest return on my time.
Mm-hmm. Like not renting a Lamborghini.
I would do that.
Not answering my phone calls.
That's a return on happiness.
Oh, what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Someone DM'd me on Instagram the other day and said like an OG from the summer talking about, I wish Taylor rented the McLaren or something like that. Like, did you end up doing it?
Oh, who that was? Oh, well, yeah.
I don't think we're trying to.
That would not have been a return. Dude, that was a recipe for disaster. It was 4 people in Miami where we don't live there. No, I was not getting involved.
Remember when you were about to buy a car for Turo? Dude, one of the YouTubers I watched got finessed. I actually got to send you that video. I didn't even watch it yet. I saw his Instagram story.
Oh, Turo?
He got, like, I think he bought a car that was screwed up or something like that. One of the YouTubers.
Danny did go through that. He just backed out quick.
Yeah, like literally every month there's like a weekend, because I really like cars. And eventually I want to do something with cars, because to me, like, that does not feel like work.
You should build.
I eventually do want to get into something with cars. So like there's a weekend every month where I'm like, damn, like I should start this Turo business. Like
when you see the Lambos rolling around, because what are the numbers on that? Like what?
It's not terrible. It's just really saturated now. It's not terrible at all, and especially being in a market like Miami, like this is like probably the best market to do it in.
People crash in, like, all the time. Too.
Yeah, but there's insurance, like that's covered, but it's
true. Yeah.
Again, that's part of the game. That's like saying Amazon loses units.
All true. Yeah, you're a lot more diversified when you have thousands of units than one whip. But obviously the goal would be to scale out more, definitely.
True. You could either have like 20 Camrys or one Lambo.
Or you could buy 20 Camrys for the same price. Maybe close.
Well, I mean, at $10K each, 200. Well, that's like 25 Camrys.
Either way, we're coming down on the 1-year anniversary of the Gary V telling me to comment to everyone, and I DM'd Garrett, and then I was like, hey, can my boy from high school come? And for whatever reason, he said yes, gave away all the sauce, and the rest was history. I still don't know why you guys gave away all the sauce, but that was one of the better decisions each of us have made in our mutual roles in that transaction.
Well, it's because we've probably all made we all made more money this past year than we would have if we were just flying solo.
Oh my gosh, way more.
So that's like kind of
more.
Not even close. And had a lot more fun doing so.
Way more. Yeah, true. Definitely.
Oh. All right. That looks like that's going to be a wrap on episode 40. I'm going to end it out here. A little change. The link for the waitlist for our prep center will be at the top of the description. Fill that out if you're looking for a prep center in a tax-free state. Other than that, follow our socials. Garrett, Miles, any last comments?
500 unit minimum on the prep center. If you've applied in the past and haven't heard from you, we're still going through that just in terms of looking for the ideal people that we want to work with. Mm-hmm. If your situation's changed since then and now you can send 500, like you scale up quickly or whatever, and you can consistently send 500 units a month, love to hear back from you. Like, shoot us a DM or anything like that, and we will get in touch. But yeah, thanks for watching, listening. YouTube viewers, let us know what you think of the new platform we're on, like with this much better camera quality, and the setup's a lot better than Zoom in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for watching. We will see you guys on Friday with the guests this time. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.